Let me say something that might surprise you. Most CRM and project management systems don't fail because of Monday.com or whatever system you're using. They fail because people build them backwards. So they start with boards instead of outcomes. They automate before clarifying ownership. They track tasks instead of decisions. And they design for today instead of growth. Now, in this video, I kind of want to walk you through the framework of how organizations need to be thinking about when constructing their CRM and project management system. There's a ton of videos online currently that teach you exactly what you need to click for what type of functionality, how to create automations, boards, etc. We have a couple of those videos. We'll be coming out with more. But in this video, again, I want to kind of emphasize the importance of creating the structure of your system before actually starting to build it out. So ultimately, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the correct way to construct your Monday.com account, not board by board, but system by system. Because the goal of a system is not activity. The goal is clarity, accountability, and momentum. So everything I'm about to share flows from that single idea. Now, before we talk about boards, automations, or dashboards, you need to understand this. If your system can't help you make decisions, it's just a fancy to-do list. A real system answers questions like, when do we say yes or no to a lead? When do we approve, delay, or escalate work? When do we invoice, follow up, or pause something? And when do we know something is at risk? If your Monday.com setup can't surface those answers instantly, it doesn't matter how pretty it looks, it will fail. So, what is the life cycle of value in your business? So, every business has a value life cycle. Value enters, value moves, value exits. For example, a lead becomes qualified, then won. Work moves from planned to in progress to delivered. Clients go from active to at risk to retained or churned. Your CRM or project management system must mirror this life cycle exactly based on your business's needs. So fundamentally, you should ask yourself, where does value enter the organization? Where does it get stuck? And where does it exit? For example, delivery, billing, renewal. So maybe sit down with the team and have a discussion. What type of bottlenecks do you guys tend to see? And what are you struggling with most on a day-to-day basis? So who owns momentum at each stage? If everything is shared, nothing is owned. So for every stage, someone must own the next step, the responsibility, and the authority to move things forward. Ownership must be visible, enforced, and non-optional inside the system. This is why it's fundamental for every organization to have SOPs. We hear it across the board. Well, one of my employees works this way, the other one works this way. Well, to be honest, if everyone's working in a different way in different platforms, you're not going to be able to scale your business or resolve the issues that you're looking to resolve. So the next point is architecture. This is where most teams completely mess up. So what is your single source of truth? There must be one place where the organization can answer what's happening, what's next, and what's blocked. One item should represent one real world thing. A deal, a project, a client, a request. No duplicates, no summary boards pretending to be the truth. If you violate this rule, trust in the system dies. So when do you separate CRM from delivery? So a mature system almost always has a CRM for sales and relationships and a delivery system for execution. Both of these systems intertwine and make the magic happen. So they should be linked, not mashed together. You must define, when does a deal become work? What data travels from sales to delivery? And what data becomes locked after handoff? This handoff is where revenue is usually lost. What deserves a board versus a sub-item versus an automation within Monday or any type of system. So not everything deserves equal weight. Boards are for things that leadership needs visibility into, things that impact revenue or risk, and things that live longer than a few days. Sub-items are for repeatable steps, execution details, and operator level work. So every organization also needs to think about flow control. So how does work move forward automatically? Movement should never rely on memory. Statuses should gate progress, not decorate items. So ask yourself, what triggers the next step? What data is required to move forward? And what happens if something is missing? If someone can move work forward without meeting conditions, your system has no teeth. Where can work stall and how is that visible? So every process has friction points. Your job is to design for them. So ask yourself and ask the team, where does work stall most often? How long is too long in each stage? Who gets notified when momentum stops? A good system makes stuck work uncomfortable to ignore. So always have automation with intent. What should never be manual? Manual work is only acceptable if it requires judgment, if it happens rarely, or if it creates strategic value. Everything else should be automated. Assignments, status enforcement, notifications, record creation, data syncing. A good rule to remember is automate outcomes, not clicks. So what should happen within your system without asking? So ultimately, your system should remind people automatically, escalate silently, and create structure without permission. If someone has to ask what happens next, then the system is a failure. So visibility and control. What does leadership need to see in 30 seconds? This is a fundamental rule that every organization needs to answer. So dashboards are not reports, they're decision engines. They should instantly show what's on track, what's at risk, and where time or money is being lost. What metrics actually matter? So stop tracking vanity metrics. We see this across the board with all of our clients. Rather track time spent in a stage, conversion between different stages, bottleneck frequency, workload versus capacity, revenue per employees or per project. Measure friction, not activity. So governance and scale, the part everyone ignores. So what's allowed to change and what isn't? Without rules, systems tend to decay. So you must define who can change workflows, who can add automations, and who approves structural changes. Freedom without governance equals chaos. The next question that you should have is, how does this system evolve? We need to scale, right? Your system must expect new services, new roles, more volume, and more complexity. Ultimately, here are some of the things that a Monday system lets you answer instantly. What's the most important thing happening right now? What's blocked and why? Who owns fixing it? And what happens next if nobody intervenes? If you can't answer these questions immediately, the system is incomplete. Organizations don't need more boards, more automations, or more dashboards. They need a system that enforces clarity, momentum, and accountability. When that's done right inside Monday.com, everything else gets easier. Sales, delivery, hiring, forecasting, growth. If you want help designing a system like this, or you want to see what this looks like applied to your business, drop a comment or reach out. And if this video helped you think how to actually rebuild your Monday.com setup, hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.